Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 22 of the 40k Badcast. My name is Dan Boyd, and my partner, as always, Crimbus McButts Sniffers, is here with us.
That was just like swing and a miss.
Oh no! How you doing, Crimbus?
I'm alert. I'm inert, and I'm ready to flirt.
You're inert?
I'm not going anywhere.
Are you a noble gas? Are you helium? Oh, God. What's up? Great jokes, top of the podcast. I was in Denver recently.
All downhill from here. Yeah.
Have you ever been to Denver before?
I've been. Is that where the airport is in Colorado?
There is an airport nearby Denver. I wouldn't call it in Denver, though.
I've been to that airport.
It was a nice town, man.
That's cool. All I know is that their bathrooms are also tornado shelters in the airport.
It's true, they are. And this concludes...
What a
world! Denver was cool. Very dry there, but it was pretty cool. I wonder if any of our...
back and blare your arms.
I wonder if any of our listeners live in Denver.
Statistically, at least one does.
All right.
This is the 40k Badcast. We are ostensibly a podcast about Warhammer 40,000, but sometimes Warhammer as a whole. We're bad at 40k, and you can too. We're going to go right into the aspects and talk about what new releases there have been from the Worlds of Games Workshop this month.
Okay.
Oh, wait, none.
Great. All right. I'm going to go first.
Yeah.
I have finished my Gravis Captain. From the cool Dark Imperium box set. That is a cool fucking model.
Yeah, he is.
I'm really happy with how it came out. And I'm really, God, I keep fucking saying it, man, but I love these fucking Primaris models. They're awesome.
Yeah, the proportions are really sweet. I saw somebody, I think it was in Something Awful, he did a conversion of the Gravis Captain into Gabriel Angelos for his Blood Ravens, and he looks really good holding like a big two-handed thunder hammer. It makes his pose where he's like kind of arching his back a little bit seem a little more natural.
I'm big fan of that model, big fan of that range, and I'm really enjoying painting up all these Raven Guard, even though I have to do so much fucking edge highlighting. But when you do one model at a time, it's easy. So I'm going to get started in on my Reaver Squad, my second Reaver Squad next, and hopefully it does not take so goddamn long to paint again. I'm shooting for done with the squad before New Year's.
Nice. Is it our 5-man or 10-man?
It's a 5-man squad.
And bolters or knives?
Carbines? How do you say that?
Carbines.
Is it carbine?
Carabiners.
Bolter carabiners. Yeah, no knives. I think it's more, so it kind of plays in more to the Raven Guard thing, because if you're more than 12 inches away from stuff, it's -1 to hit them. And their whole idea with them is to get into the backfield kind of late game, so like turn 2 or turn 3, and disrupt things. Not really charge a whole lot. Maybe charge vehicles if I'm getting smacked around by a bunch of vehicles, but not really like cause a bunch of attacks and fuck shit up in combat. More just be harassers, knock troops off of objectives, and do that sort of thing.
No, that's a cool thing that Space Marines didn't really quite have before. Like there were like, termicide squads and occasionally deep striking and assault squads to hang out and shoot with pistols or whatever. But like a mobile harassment unit, that's a cool niche that was kind of filled with the with those guys.
Well, I guess you could say that bikers could have been that, but bikers were mostly just like, hey, look at my completely immune to damage unit. It's going to fuck everything up.
Yeah, that's just a tougher, faster tactical Marine. While these guys are also like, and they kind of, not even scouts, because scouts you'd like infiltrate or whatever, but they didn't get to like drop into a backfield the same way that Reavers do.
No. I mean, you could outflank them back in the old days, but their survivability was quite terrible.
The word is Garbo.
Sly Garbo. What about you? What did you get done?
I've been hobbying like crazy. So I went to Michael's and I just bought a buttload of bead container things, and I did the typical Michael's thing where you use so many coupons you get money back when you leave, pretty much. And I've just been chopping away like box after box after box and sprue after sprue after sprue and just organizing shit. And it's like I did so much of that like my wrists hurt because of how much clipping I was doing. But I've freed up a bunch of space in my shelves and a bunch of space in my, trunk full of garbage. So I'm really happy with how that's coming along. I finished that brick of 20 spearmen I've been talking about for a few weeks for Age of Sigmar. not gonna go too much into that, but I painted a really cool freehand boar's head banner on them, which was pretty cool.
Did you use the image from Boar's Head deli meats and cheeses?
No, I looked around more for like medieval things because Clan Campbell, of which I'm named from, is their icon was the boar's head.
Oh, cool.
But, yeah, so tying in with the old family history.
Putting a little IRL in your nerddom.
I took pictures of a bunch of shit. I assembled a model and paint for my dad for Christmas, which is the little metal model that came with Princess Ryan's Star Marines, which is a board game he designed back in the 90s. I started working on the Apothecary I've got. I built up the 4-year-old Venerable Dreadnought for the Black Templars, and I didn't have arms for it, but I had some spare ironclad arms, and I got to kind of dress those up a bit to make it kind of fit with the overall Dreadnought. So I got some jeweler's chain, and I ran that over a shield from an old fantasy kit. And I'm really happy with how that came out. I even got to pose it a little bit, which they aren't as posable as like the Contemptors, but the box knots, at least the Forgeable versions of them, had a little bit more mobility to them than the stock plastic ones from
So
DW.
this is the Forge World boxy Black Templars Venerable Dreadnought.
Yeah, like the Mark IV Dreadnought or whatever.
Ooh.
You can't get it anymore.
Is this the one that you were like trying to find at Nova with the Forge World people?
That's the one. A friend of mine, actually Dylan, hooked me up with this guy because somebody in like an Old Hammer or Middle Hammer group on Facebook was selling it off for cost, so I got it through him.
Dylan is just about the coolest guy around, isn't he?
Oh, dude, he's the best. I'll be getting a game in with him in like 2 weeks, so
Cool. Tell him I said hi.
I will.
Or hey, he listens to the show. You don't have to. He can, hey, Dylan, hi.
Hi, I'm gonna be at your party. I'll be bringing cookies.
You playing the games?
No, I've been playing Nintendo's.
What, the Nintendo Switch?
Switch and the SNES Classic because my uncle at Nintendo got me both, I guess.
That's a good one. I played one game since last time I played Kevin, our friend Kevin, Beer for the Beer Guard from Something Awful Forms, where he early on in 8th edition, he schooled me quite mercilessly with some orcs on guard action, and then he hadn't played since then.
Oh wow.
We got together over the weekend and played a game with his World Eaters against my Astra Militarum, and the tables had turned. I won quite handily. It's just a 1,500 point game. Oh, we did one of the chapter approved missions.
Oh,
the one where it's kill points and progressive objective scoring.
That's cool.
And it's just elite armies, especially close combat armies against a gun line with a bunch of artillery. It's not a good matchup.
No, it's a bad time. I've been on the receiving end of that.
Right. So we talked, though, about getting a game in with, now that I know how to play Warhammer 40k 8th edition, and he, has, I think, a little more time to play. We talked about getting a Orcs versus Imperial Guard game in soon. Basically a rematch where I get to try to beat the armies that kicked my ass. But he says words like 3 battle wagons, and that makes me very scared.
I can understand why.
I got a game coming up.
Oh,
well, not a game. I got a series of games coming up. Going to Scott Horace Heresy, our friend from Nova. He's running a tournament at Games and Stuff in Glen Burnie, Maryland, and I am going this Saturday. 1,500 point. This is a cool tournament because he has messed with the Army Comp rules a little bit, and I think ways that are really cool. It's 1,500 points with a maximum of 2 detachments. Right. Something that I like a whole lot. The number of characters must be less than or equal to the number of command points your army generates.
I'm trying to think when that would ever be a limiting factor on any of the armies I play.
If you're running like a Vanguard detachment or something, which would be a maximum of 4, then you can't have 5 characters. It might be harder to do like crazy assassin spam.
Yeah, about to say, does he know about that? Is that like a conscious thing to stop what's the list called where you have 20 Eversaurs or whatever?
I don't know, but I don't want to play it.
Yeah, no, Christ, no. No, anything that keeps that from happening is a good thing.
Yeah, so number of characters is less than equal to number of CPs. Great idea. And then he removed the Imperium, Chaos, and Eldari keywords.
Oh.
So no more soup armies. Out of the 3 factions that can do soup armies.
6th and 7th edition would have tournaments where it was like a one codex per army thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a similar thing on there to banning allies, which I'm not totally against, because the more variables you have in there, the less balanced things will generally be, because you can't prepare for everything.
I kind of like it. I think it's going to make more competitive lists come out there. I'm sorry, less competitive lists, more flavorful, more fun lists. And 1,500 points is, I think, a very good amount of points to play at in 8th edition 40k.
Yeah, that's a comfy size.
Some people are talking about how the game is designed to play at 2,000 points. 2,000 points, it's a lot of fun, but 1,500 points, especially for a tournament, a 3-game tournament, is, I think, a lot better. I think you'll have a lot less time crunching, a lot more ease and relaxation through that. So I'm looking forward to that. That's on this Saturday.
But say my favorite part of tournaments is when you finish a game early and you're like, cool, I've got an hour and a half before I have to play this dumb game again.
Yeah, right. So let's move on to new stuff. Only a couple of new things came out. And really, well, just one new thing, and it's the Dark Angels Codex. It's not even out yet. It's going to be up for pre-order, I think, this weekend.
It's already up for pre-order.
Oh, it's already up for pre-order? Okay, well, then it's going to be in stores this weekend. This Dark Angels Codex looks good as shit, dude.
I really don't know much. I read the White Dwarf Battle Report, but tell me about how good Dark Angels are.
Well,
is my army that's been in the closet for 6 months or whatever actually worth playing now?
Well, yes. They have a really good chapter tactic where if they don't move, they get to reroll 1s to hit, and they can only lose 1 model on a failed morale check.
Marines weren't losing models on morale checks that often to begin with, but the reeling 1s if you stand still is good, especially if you got like a Hellblaster squad, which that's what they used in the battle report actually. Because they're just overcharging all the time and they don't give a shit.
Right. So they also get bonuses to plasmas. There's a stratagem. I think it's a 1 CP stratagem where they get to add 1 to the damage done by a unit's plasma weapons. So those Hellblasters suddenly are doing 3 damage a pop instead of 2.
I was really hoping their chapter tactics would be minus D3 victory points and preferred enemy swords.
Well, let me. There's shit like that with them. There's a stratagem called Hunt the Fallen, where an enemy infantry character gets +1 attacks, but all the Dark Angels get to reroll 1s in the fight phase against that character, and Deathwatch and Ravenwing can reroll charges when charging that character. And the whole idea is that that character has information about the Fallen, and they're like really interested in making sure they get to that character and take them into custody or whatever.
I'm looking forward to someone using that during a game against like Tyranids. Like, that Hive Tyrant knows too much.
It wouldn't be a Hive Tyrant, though, because it has to be an infantry character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That Broodlord knows too much?
I guess that Broodlord knows too much. Or that Gene Stealer Magus, or, whatever the fuck. But I think the most exciting thing, and this was in the Warhammer community post about Dark Angels, is the extremely cool and good Lieutenant Landspeeder for the Ravenwing.
That's silly. Tell me more.
It's 2 lieutenants in a Landspeeder with a twin heavy bolter and a twin assault cannon. And they get their lieutenant aura. So anything within 6 inches gets to reroll 1s to wound.
And that's a bigger model than the infantry model, yeah. So I'm guessing, but the Master of the Ravenwing can't take a Landspeeder anymore, so I'm guessing that's kind of a concession to people who had that model.
I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure. I heard that anyway. I don't know. I haven't read the book yet.
I guess we'll find out when the book comes out this weekend. And, War Master from Dan Abnett came out.
Oh. I
already finished it.
What'd you think? I have not read it.
So it's you should read it, and then we should do a 40k book club on it, because it's a fucking Gaunt's Ghost, and that's kind of our shit.
Yeah.
But I thought it was pretty good. It kind of felt like a intermediary, like a setup book. Like it wasn't really, not a whole lot happened.
It's just setting the table for 400 pages.
Yeah, just about.
So the problem is I'd love to read it, but I've got like 12 Gaunt's Ghost books to read before I'm at that one.
Okay, well, then maybe we'll do a 40k book club at the end of next year about it. I was reading it. It had some callbacks too to like previous like characters that had died in previous Gaunt's Ghost novels, and I was like, fuck, I don't remember this guy.
Yeah, there's an interview with Dan Abnett that was posted to Warhammer TV, I think, and it's like a half hour long, and there's bits where he's talking about where people will call him out and be like, hey, this character died, why are they back in this book? And he's like, shit, I gotta make this work.
Oh, fuck. I mean, he's been writing the fucking novels for since 2002.
I'd say it's been almost 20 years of the series, so it's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah, and he also had a serious illness, and now he writes a ton of movies and shit. Guys are kind of busy. Let's everybody keep that in mind. Yeah. Fucking Mert Fagor died in whatever, and he made an appearance in the beginning of the next book. Fuck you. Who cares? I always like Fagor. It's one of my favorite characters.
When I was at Warhammer World, back a few years ago or whatever, I just bought Xenos because I'd never read that book before, the first Eisenhorn book.
That's a good one.
And I'm walking around in Bugman's, and I'll go around a corner, and there's a few people just sitting in this corner having a hushed conversation. And I'm like, that bald guy looks familiar. And I walk out, and I just go, shit, that was Dan Abnett. I should have gotten him to sign my book.
Did you?
No, he'd already left.
Oh, they walked out, not you.
Yeah, I walk out because I have a game going on, and I get through the game, and I play through the game, and I'm just thinking back, and I'm like, yeah, that was Dan Abnett. Oh, well.
I was eating sushi at a restaurant in Alexandria recently, and I saw the color commentator for the Nationals TV broadcast, FP Santangelo, at the same sushi restaurant, and I got real excited, but I did not go up and say hi to him.
That's going to be really good for our huge overlap of Washington Nationals fans and 40k Badcast fans listening right now.
Oh man, I bet.
Wait, it's you.
It's just me. It's only me.
That's the very, very tiny, pinprick size pinhead bit there on the Venn diagram is just Dan.
That's me. All right, we got results from last episode.
Yeah, we did. Before we get to that, I do want to just throw a little shout out there to Mark Schultz. He wrote that great Calgar fan fiction I read during the fan fiction challenge.
Oh, yeah.
And he sent us a super nice Forge World gift voucher for Christmas, which is super fucking nice. And we'd never asked for that. And that's really nice of you. And your gift will go towards Dan's Astraeus and the Dan's Resin Albatross Fund.
I'm very excited to buy this Astraeus and paint it by, I don't fucking know, ever.
And I'm not going to help.
It's going to take me so fucking long. No, you don't help me because I need to learn how to do it myself. No, Mark, thank you so much, man. It was really, really nice of you. I don't feel necessarily good about encouraging people to give us free money, so I'm not going to, but I really appreciate that you're supporting the show in that unique way.
Thank you very much.
So let's get on to it, man. Who is the sexiest man alive in the Warhammer 40,000 universe?
So, in hindsight, we have a pretty obvious Catachan bias.
A little bit.
But, who doesn't like sweaty giant muscle men?
Apparently, our friend JD doesn't like sweaty giant muscle men.
No, here's the thing, though. He said that Sly Marbo was going to be his vote for it until he suggested some guy who actually plays Warhammer, which, once you actually play Warhammer, you're no longer in the running up for sexiest anything alive.
It's true.
So, sorry, guy. But, yeah, Sly Marbo has taken it away. We got a bunch of people writing in for Sly Marbo. That was kind of, my vote. But we got a couple more runners up who got written in later.
Who got written in?
Well, we got one very incensed comment on our website for cutting Dante from our top threes. And I guess a lot of people like guys who remind them of their granddad.
Tim Trenicosta, yeah, he came out with, I'm at a fucking loss right now. He's super mad about us not including Dante. And you know what, Tim? I'm glad you're listening, bud. And I love Dante, and he's got an incredible sense of style. But when it comes down to it, large, sweaty muscle men are what we're all about.
I got a surprising write-in for Asdrubiel Vecht, who, from my friend Nick the Cisco. He's a self-made man. He knows what he wants, and he is unashamed of who he is. He's Dark Eldar, so you know he's into the kinkier stuff, and he's got a pretty pimpin' ride.
Well, at least he used to. Man, I haven't thought about that guy in a while. Does he still have rules?
Nah, he hasn't had rules for 3 editions now.
Okay.
Is that the one?
Is that the model that came with the little slave girls?
Those god awful slave girl models?
Yeah.
No, he's a floating testament to Gary Morley's subpar sculpting skills. But he's a cool character.
Oh god, those slave girls' hands were bigger than their heads.
I don't even want to start with the problematic anatomy of those slave girl models. Just none of it's good. That's all you need to know is none of it's good.
Oh, nothing is good. All right, that's it. Sexiest man alive, Sly Marbo.
Suck it, not Catachans.
We have figured it out. You're welcome. All right, so we were talking about what we wanted to do for this show, and 2017 has been a remarkable year, to say the least. So we wanted to highlight the things that we loved hobby-wise about 2017. And I'm really happy that we've been doing this podcast for almost a year now. It has helped me focus on the hobby. It has helped me refine my ideas in the hobby. And it's helped me have conversations with people that I wouldn't normally speak to about the hobby. So things are, I think, really good. At least, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but things are good for me hobby-wise. And I'm going to start with my first hobby highlight from 2017 with the crazy amount of shit I got done in 2017. And when I say I got done, I mean I bought, assembled, and painted. And I'm just going to very quickly, Campbell, read this list for you because this is nuts for me. I've never done this much work in a year. I can't wait to go out and get a new phone so I can take cameras of my, like, what, you know, that panoramic, like, what did I finish this year picture. I can't wait to do it. But here we go. 2 basilisks, an IG priest and mystic, the Orc Blood Bowl team, Vara Gulchur, Morgenthor, Graken Cromberberry, Mighty Zug, Griff Overwald, Hackflum Scuttlespike, 2 Primaris lieutenants, 2 Primaris intercessor squads, sorry. I added sponsons to all my Russes. I did a Trojan, an Eversor, a Calexis, Primaris Aggressors, Primaris Reavers, and a Gravis Captain. And if I have my way, I'll have another unit of Primaris Reavers done before the end of the year.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Motherfucker. That's a lot of shit.
That's a lot of shit.
I've never done that. I mean, I've had, you know, good years in the hobby where I've completed a good amount of stuff, but I've been so excited since we started doing this podcast to get shit done. Mainly so I can fucking talk about it, because you get a lot more done than I do. And I don't want to come to the table every couple of weeks and be like, I didn't do anything again.
It's me, the deadbeat ham.
Yeah. But no, this has been a crazy productive year for me.
Yeah, that's awesome here, man. And like, yeah, the show is really great for being a motivator. And also it's a highlight of my every 2 weeks or so is get to have a fun conversation with my pal Dan.
All right. Do you have a hobby highlight from 2017 you'd like to share?
I'm just going to start, like, I have it written. It's kind of almost chronological, but starting off with the Philly Apocalypse event in January, where we got to hang out with the Page guys. And like,
what a time. I lost my voice completely.
Yeah, because you were screaming so much.
I couldn't fucking speak.
And it was the best possible scenario for an Apocalypse game. Like, I don't just mean like the mission scenario, but like the way it was run, the people we were playing with, like everything about it was pretty much the best possible it could be. And I always love seeing these guys at Nova, and playing with them in their own hometown was absolutely a joy.
I want to go kind of chronologically after that and talk about Adepticon.
Oh, yeah.
So that was my first Adepticon. I think it was your first too, right?
Yep.
And holy shit, what a ton of fun that was. Completely different from Nova, where Nova, we get into a singular event and we kind of live in that bubble until the end of the con. But at Adepticon, we fucking branched out and talked to people, played games, made new friends, saw incredible models and incredible displays, tested new games, and basically just be con goers. And it was amazing. It was so much fucking fun. I cannot wait for March to come to go, and I'm super sad that you're not going to be coming with me.
Yeah, I'm really bummed I can't go next year, but I'm stoked I got to go this time. Like, it was an absolute blast, and got to like meet old friends, new friends, familiar faces, like people who I've only talked to online, and I got to meet them in person, and that was super cool. Like, I will actually say the surprising number of like internet people who I've met in real life who turned out to be like really cool folks at Adepticon was staggering.
Yeah, I've been listening to the Independent Characters podcast for a long time. And I was so excited to meet Carl and Adon. They have such a great podcast, 2 super cool guys. And I don't know, man, they're going to be there. I can't wait to see them. I gotta fucking text Carl and see if he's actually doing any 40K events. I don't think he is, but
yeah, I'm going to keep bugging him to go to Nova.
He said he might.
He says that every year.
He said there's a strong maybe.
I'd say another 2017 highlight is just new GW. Like, it's kind of normalized by now, but their ability to roll with the punches, keep on top of things like social media and leaks, provide free and entertaining content with like regimental standard and painting videos and the tactics articles and stuff like that in Warhammer community has been a total 180 from where they used to be. Like, they're not perfect, but they're clearly a company full of people where they're encouraging people to have fun, even the people who work there. And fun is ostensibly what this hobby is about.
It's a social hobby, and they're really capturing the idea that they need to engage with their customers. Because what do we do when any two fucking hams get together? What do? We sit there and we talk for 25 minutes about like games that we've played or people that we've met or cool things about different armies. And they're providing an opportunity for us to do that more by engaging with us in that conversation. And so I'm going to try to glom onto this a little bit and talk about 8th edition and the New White Dwarf.
Oh, yeah.
So New White Dwarf comes out end of last year, back to a monthly format, and it's fucking amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Tons of great fluff, hobby stuff, battle reports, the things that we've been asking for, instead of just pictures of the models that they're selling. And then June comes around, and they release 8th edition, and 8th edition is fun. It's good. It's easy. It's hard for me to put into words how excited I am when my hobby, the thing that I love to do and spend my time, is actually fucking fun, as opposed to 7th edition where I had to like couch every game. I was like, all right, well, I'm playing Imperial Guard and I'm using a lot of transport, so I'm not going to win, but maybe I'll have a good time. It's just so refreshing that I can go into an event like that I'm going to do in a couple of days, where I know that it's going to be a good time.
Well, I was saying 40k isn't fun in spite of itself anymore. It's just fun on its own.
And I think they're doing a great job with fostering a community now, where they ignored us for so many years.
Oh, yeah. And they even have like low barriers to entry now. Like if you want to just like get a few models to start with, there's like, $10 starter set, which is like, 3 intercessors or whatever. Like there is so many levels of entry, going from the little boxes like that all the way to the big Dark Imperium boxes or start collecting boxes. There's free rules for a lot of stuff that you can just find without too much effort. And it's easy to get into, and the community, I've not seen this excited about the game since like maybe 5th edition. Like the new edition isn't everyone's taste, but like I know there's a few groups where they're like, yeah, 40k kind of died in my area, and people are bigger into Horus Heresy now, which is that's cool, whatever you like. But most Facebook groups or forums I've gone to have had at least a few people pop up saying they've returned to the game after a long hiatus, or saying that their interest in the hobby has been renewed by this newer, better company, this newer, better game. And that's inspiring. Like, I'm happy to see the hobby I'm part of growing and living and thriving. GW kind of is controlling the conversation more than they used to, because it used to be like, oh, if you want news or whatever, head to Bell of Lost Souls or Spiky Bits or any of these places where the comment section is kind of like a toxic waste dump.
Oh my God. And is Bell of Lost Souls still a thing? Do they still exist?
Balls is still around.
Oh, why? What are they fucking adding to the conversation?
Goat Boy is saying Imperial Guard are overpowered or something like that. I don't fucking know. I don't go there. That's the thing. I wouldn't know because I don't need to go there anymore. But by controlling the conversation, they've also cut down on a lot of the toxicity that the community has, at least online. And that, like, when there's less toxicity, people tend to be cooler to each other in real life too. And that's kind of made this a more inclusive hobby. And yeah, there's still a long ways to go, but like it's just another minor thing as far as inclusivity goes. But GW's been listening to community more, and as a result, they've been more representative with what their people look like in their artwork and their models. They've got tutorials for different skin tones that they wouldn't have done before. Models aren't all just white dudes, and there's even like women entering the ranges with stuff like, that Stormcast character, that like Dark Oath Chieftain, War Queen, and the Escher gang. It's a small step, but I, for one, appreciate it a lot. It's a big universe. It's a really big universe they've created, and if they can reach more people, they'll have more people playing.
You know what that bothered me the most about Bell of Lost Souls?
Take a number, but yeah, start.
The semi-literate level of writing that would go into their articles. Like, especially Goat Boy. Listen, I've never met the guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy. But, oh my God, he couldn't fucking write. Grammar wasn't even a thing. Yeah, maybe I'm being a little too, I don't know.
Is this the part where we have a plug for Grammarly?
No,
our new sponsor.
I'm probably being too picky and too shitty about it, but fuck it, man. Like, I'm so glad that I haven't been there in, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months. And it's fucking awesome. I don't need to fucking do it anymore. It's great. I want to add the Nova Open to our list again, which every year it's a ton of fun.
Yeah, it's like Christmas, but for like 4 days.
We won. Jason Sniffen got extremely drunk, extremely quickly, which was very hilarious. He chugged a Long Island. Did you remember that?
Yeah, Craig sent me a text. It was for TJ Fridays doing $1 Long Island iced teas, and he just wrote, "Jason's gonna die."
There was the best part of that. There was no fucking reason for him to chug. We were just chilling, and he just say, "Hey guys, check this out," and fucking chugs an entire Long Island.
Guys, I don't drink, by the way.
I love that guy. He's the fucking best.
I'm glad he survived.
It's still, I like it more than Adepticon. Adepticon is bigger and there's a lot more people and there's a lot more stuff going on. But Nova Open is almost like family at this point. All the people that go to that.
It was the incubator for this very podcast.
It certainly was.
Although neither of us play it, Shadespire. GW created this like low barrier to entry game that's focused on balanced competitive play. And it highlights that they're committed to doing more than just beer and pretzels games, which I think is really cool, even if it's not exactly my cup of tea. Yeah, it proves they do have at least an eye on balance, even if it doesn't always come through in a game with as many variables as 40k.
Yeah, competitive gaming has always been a big thing for any sort of contest or game or whatever. I mean, you look at your super popular video games like League of Legends or Dota or Hearthstone or whatever. And they're
actual good games, yeah.
They're very formulaic and limited in your choices of what you can do. And it comes down to the skill of the players, right? And I think that Shadespire is just like that, where it's you can have one of these 4 warbands and you can't really do anything to them other than have them, except make your deck. And how you make your deck and then play it is what separates you from the other person. Where in 40K, you can lose before the game even starts if you don't pick a as competitive army as the other person does. And when we're talking low barrier to entry to get people into the hobby, more people being into the hobby has never been a bad thing.
No.
And if Shadespire brings people in and brings them into the Games Workshop umbrella and they, look at 40K and say, hey, that would be cool to do. I mean, fuck yeah, dude. Bring them in.
Yeah, because if you're just like, hey, I got this game, you want to play it? It takes half an hour. And you go and you play and go, cool, I like these guys. I'll go buy a box of my own, Skelemans or Orcs or whatever. And like, I love that there's just that easy way in its own self-contained game. So if you do just want to paint 3 Stormcast guys, you're good. I like that. I like that a lot. My last hobby highlight of 2017 is Necromunda. This is my favorite specialist game, and it's back in a big way. The models are dope. They're supporting it going forward. They've already shown new releases coming out. There's a video game coming out for it, which was developed alongside the tabletop game, so it might actually resemble it, which is pretty cool.
Awesome.
There's an easy way to play it out of the box. So again, there's that lower barrier to entry, and there's also the classic, more intensive approach that requires a table full of terrain. It's something I've been wanting for years, and I'm just stoked they brought it back.
I have thoughts about this coming up in our next segment on the show, so I don't want to spoil them, but I am so happy about Necromunda.
Yeah. If you told me even a year ago that there would be plastic Necromunda gangs, I'd be like, fuck off, that's not happening. That's never happening. As Forge World at best. But plastic multi-part Necromunda gangs, incredible models.
This might be stupid, but one of my important memories growing up was one day I was in, I think, middle school, and I had a sick day. I was sick, and I just bought the combined book of, you remember the Necromunda book with the hazard stripes on it?
Yeah.
It had the rules, it had Outlanders, and I think that was just it. It was just with those two. And I remember just like reading it all day. Just like sitting in my bed and just reading this book all day and enjoying all the stories that came in it and enjoying thinking about all the, campaigns that I'd never fucking get involved in and like the rules and all that shit. Like just having it in my head and just going through it was one of my most favorite hobby memories, if you will.
Dude, that's super cool, man. That's like how I was when I got the 3rd edition 40K rulebook. I was like, what is this universe? And I just got sucked into it. And I read it during like a 7-hour drive to Pennsylvania once.
It's so funny because like now I'm in my 30s and like a rulebook comes out and I like skim through it And it's like, are there any changes I need to know about how to play this game? Blah, 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 blah. Can somebody ballpark these rules for me? And then just ignore it for the rest of time.
You just like, you open the book, you like cut the binding out with a knife and just so, boop, here's the rules, throw the rest in the trash, set the trash can on fire. No, I still try to read all my codexes, but like I've got a bookmark in the Space Marine Codex, which I'm not done with yet.
Yeah, right?
I'm still on like, oh, so that's what Primaris Marines are.
Well, I read that's like the Guard Codex, the new one, the 8th edition Guard Codex. There's a lot of fucking copy paste going on with that one as far as the non-rule sections. And I was just like, I'm going to go through it, see if there's anything new and look at new stuff. But it's the same way with the Space Marine Codex. There's like a bunch of stuff that has been there in old codexes or codices or whatever. So I think at this point also I'm just so steeped in the lore and background that unless it's like brand new stuff, I'm just like, whatever, it's cool.
Yeah.
I get the idea. I get the idea.
All right. So that's it for 2017. What do you got? Like, what are your hobby resolutions for 2018? What's coming up? What is coming up on Warhammer 40k Teen?
Warhammer 40k Teen? Is that what we're calling 2018?
Warhammer 40k Teen. There you go.
Nope,
that just rolls off the tongue.
No, we got to figure out a better nickname for 2018.
I'm waiting.
Oh, I'm just saying that maybe we can ask our fucking listeners, Campbell, for help because we're not going to come up with anything fun. If you got an idea for a better nickname for 2018 listeners, fucking give it to us. 40k Teen? Is that what your idea was?
Just 40k Teen.
40k Teen? I like 40k Teen better.
That's even better. That makes it like we're in the year 2040.
2040k Teen. So yeah, 2018 is coming up. So we've got, New Year's resolution is a thing that I never fucking participate in.
It's made to be broken.
But I will do it for the sake of the hobby. And I got one right off the bat.
All right.
I want to have 1,500 points of Raven Guard painted by Adepticon. That's end of March.
That's coming up.
Yeah, I got about like 700 points. So I got to double that in 3 months.
Once you get a vehicle or two, you'll get a good chunk out of that.
Yeah, I figure if I were just go get a repulsor and paint that, I'd be like, look at I have a stretch goal for that too. I want to have 100 power level of Raven Guard painted by Adepticon because if I can get to 1,500, that means I've got my 40k friendly army done. But 100 power level means that I don't have to supplement that with any either old Raven Guard models or that I have or Steel Legion guys that I could throw in there too.
Mine is I want to finish my Black Templars or my Empire army, preferably both. This year I painted about 3,200 points of Black Templars. And wow. I don't have that much of them left. I've got like the Dread on my desk. I got a bunch of characters and like the Warhammer World Command tanks. And I think that's pretty much it. And I want to finish that army. I want to actually be done with it. Because like I've got box after box of like, oh, this army's done except for this big ass box of shit over here. I just want to be able to say this army is finished. And my Empire, I've got like 1,500 points painted. I want to get the other 1,500 points I've got painted.
I'd also like to attend more local events in 2018. Do more local tournaments and, actually hang with people I like in the 40K hobby in the area instead of just see them once or twice a year at Adepticon and Nova. I'd like to do that.
I think that's realistic. I want to play 2 games a month, like minimum. I want to play 2 games a month, and I want to record how well I did and where I went right and wrong so I can become a better player. Like, I've been saying probably since around the time this edition started, or I've been saying probably since about Nova that this is the edition where I want to actually get good at this game, even if that doesn't mean using hyper-competitive lists. Because, I'm never going to be the guy who does a net list. That's not my style, but I want to get better at this silly game.
Right. Which is why you got Las Plas Crusaders.
Watch out, 2005, I'm coming for you.
I want to win the narrative again at Nova.
I'm going to help you with that.
I don't know how the fuck we did it this time, but I think we can do it again. I think whenever we go to the narrative, it's just basically like, let's have some fun. Yeah, we win games, whatever, who cares? But I would like to have humanity, our people, win the narrative event again. And on top of that, I want to have an Astraeus, the super heavy tank for Primaris Marines, done by Nova Open.
I want to see you have that finished by Nova. I want to see that.
Because if we're going to do another Apocalypse game at Nova Open, I want to have the Astreus there painted and done for Nova. Because it's probably not going to make it into a regular game because it costs 750 points.
Only? That's as much as like a repulsor.
A repulsor is like 350.
Jesus Christmas.
They're both very expensive points wise.
No kidding. I want to build my Necromunda gangs and get them off the ground. And I want to play a buttload of Necromunda. I've got names for my gangs thought up. I've got naming convention for it. I kind of want to touch on that in a future segment on the show, but I want Necromunda to come back in my local group. I
have the exact same thing on my 2018 resolutions and plans. Build and paint an Orlok Necromunda gang and get involved in a Necromunda league.
It's going to be easier to do that now than it has been for about 20 years, so go for it.
Yeah, I love the pictures that we've seen of the Orlok models. And, after Adepticon, after I get, enough of my Raven Guard done, I'm probably going to take a break from Raven Guard for a little bit. And that'll probably be when I paint the Orlok gang.
It's a good palette cleanser. It's just going to be like 10 models. So my last resolution here is this year I got fucked up. Like my wrist got fucked up. My shoulders got fucked up. My eye got fucked up. Then it all happened again. Like this has not been my year. And as a result, I didn't quite get in all the stuff I wanted to get done. Like Cam Hammer videos are like at a crawl. I've painted like almost 200 models, which I'm pretty stoked about. But like, last year I painted, like 250 or 300 or whatever, like more. I want to get videos done. I don't think I'm going to be able to do the 2 a month thing that I was doing for Cam Air for a while, but I at least want to get some battle report videos done. I want to get more models painted. I want to put out tutorials. I want to just come back swinging into 2018 the way I tried to come and swing in 2017.
Yeah, I've actually got something similar to that where I want to really focus on getting my hour or so a night in 2018 in painting.
It feels good.
Just focus on doing that every single day. I've been very good lately about making that part of my routine, and I want to continue with that. And I think that bit by bit, I'm going to get stuff done. And before you know it, I know I'm not going to be up to your level of painting, where I can do 200 models a year or something. I'm not the Jose Altuve of painting like you are. That's a joke that you don't get, and a joke that nobody listens to this fucking podcast is going to get. But I do want to get better with just sticking to the basics. And my painting has like improved a bunch this year.
Totally.
I've gone through when I started painting that Orc Blood Bowl team. I had basically been painting nothing but Astra Militarum stuff for 2 years, and I wasn't. I mean, they look good and whatever, but they're not. There's not a whole lot of advanced techniques involved in those models. And so with the Orcs, the bubble team, I was like, I'm going to learn how to properly edge highlight. I'm going to learn how to really properly use shading and gradient shading and use the color wheel to inform my choices for paints and all that stuff. And I was super happy with the result. And I've been doing that with my Raven Guard, and my painting, I think, has advanced there too. And I want to keep doing that. I want to keep advancing my painting and keep doing things that I'm not necessarily comfortable with or I don't know how to do, so I can get better throughout 2018.
I mean, I've seen your Raven Guard are such a marked improvement over your guard, and your guard look good, like they do.
Well, I think as a whole, my guard look good. I think on their own, they're okay, but when you get all of the models together and they're all painted in a cohesive fashion, I think they're more than the sum of their parts.
It's like you're painting 100-something models. Like my Empire guys, I put out 20 in like 3 weeks. Yeah, they look pretty good at a distance and as a unit. When you get up close, you see that each guy is like one eye forward and one eye on the snack machine. Like they're not that good looking when you get up real close, but they look good as a unit on the tabletop. Yeah. And you getting to step up your painting by working on the Raven Guard is really cool because you get to kind of see what it's like to do this kind of army. And I will say from personal experience, going back to doing the armies where it is kind of like, oh, it's just a few layers and you're done, is a really refreshing palette cleanser. So it's going to be fun for you to go back and paint more guardsmen at some point if that ever happens or whatever.
Oh, it'll happen. I'm sure.
There's always more guard to paint.
All right, man, let's have a laugh. Give me some fucking fan fiction because it's time for everybody's favorite segment, fact or fan fiction.
here we go. So this one is not quite as steamy as last week's, but it does still involve an assassin. She trotted lithely back from her tour to the main family chamber. All these tunnels and chambers below the temple were a sewer of alien evil, of an evil compelled by a foul, cunning, imperative joke of nature to be none other than just that, evil that even wore a mask of ultimate community. However, Shandabar City was also plumbed in the sanitary sense. In a privy, Melinda defecated her transformed supper of the previous night, and before flushing that away with a push of her claw, wondered whether her excrement had been doubly metamorphosed. The food transformed not only into dung, but into identifiably gene-stealer dung.
What the fuck?
Perhaps her bowels remained her own. Perhaps her dirt was the talisman of her identity. If so, considering the keen senses of gene stealers, thanks be for plumbing. In the Callidus part of her, she made a mental note to mention this aspect of her mission. Could an assassin transformed into an alien be tripped up by an all-too-human stool?
Oh, what? Oh, hold up, though. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Does a transformed Callidus, does like her whole insides transform? Do gene stealers make markedly different poops than humans?
Well, in this piece of literature style content, a gene stealer is referred to as having an anal flap.
Oh, anal flap. That's my favorite band.
Sorry, an anal vent covered by a flap.
Oh,
sorry.
Oh, shit. How does one trot lithely?
I don't fucking know.
Well, Campbell, it's too much poop for Games Workshop publications. That's got to be fan fiction.
You say that, but this is by our boy Ian Watson.
Yes.
This is a short story. It is called "The Alien Beast Within," about a Callidus assassin infiltrating a gene stealer cult. It is in the Deathwing short story collection. I'm pretty sure it was written in the 80s. It features. It has a whole paragraph talking about her nipples. And it refers to the gene stealer patriarch as the granddaddy of evil more than once.
Oh, no.
It uses the term granddaddy a lot. It's really upsetting.
Oh, God damn it. Human stool. We should rename the podcast to the Human Stool Podcast.
I thought that was Barstool's podcast.
Oh, well, there's the episode name right there. Shit.
Good.
Shit.
Oh.
All right, man. That was a good one. I like that. That was really funny. I think a lot better than I never saw fucking a Vindicare like last time.
The word impaled was never used.
It was never. That's a fucking good thing. If you want to contact us, you can. There's many ways to do it.
Tell them how, Dan.
You can email us at contact@40kbadcast.com. We don't have any listener write-ins or competitions or anything going on right now, but still want to hear from you. I would love to see you finish a model, fucking email it to us. You're going to post it on the internet anyways. Just take one more small step and say, hey, fuckos, here's what I've just finished. I'd love to see it. I think it'd be fantastic.
Include fuckos in the subject line so we know who you're talking to.
If you want to get at us on Twitter, you certainly can.
Tell them how, Dan.
I am at DB_sleazy. I changed my Twitter name today, though.
Ooh, what is it?
It's no longer Deezy Beezy. It is now ya boy Deezy.
I would have spelled it Chaboy, but that works too.
And Campbell, I believe you're on Twitter too.
I am at Brother SRM. I am currently Crumble McSkirmish?
Crimbus McButt Sniffer.
Crimbus McLimbus. That's going to happen next if I feel festive at any point in the next, 11 days.
Campbell's got a YouTube show called Cam Hammer Show, which is different than Can Hammer, which I believe is a Canadian 40k podcast, but I haven't listened to it, so I don't actually know.
You are correct. It is youtube.com/camhammershow. I haven't posted anything in a bit. I'm going to be soon enough. I said that's one of my resolutions is to get back on that horse.
Get on the posting horse.
Get on the post and pony.
Speaking of post, maybe we should set up a P.O. box.
Whoa! That'd be nice.
I would worry, though, that our listeners would just send us boxes of human stool.
I'm pretty sure that you can't legally do that, but we can find out.
Oh my God, I know someone who's done that. Story time.
All right, don't leave me hanging.
Story time. Okay, I'm not going to mention any names.
Good.
But a person I know went on a blind date. And the person they went on a date with left in the middle of the date, which is a shitty thing to do.
That is a shitty thing.
But this person's sibling, in a retaliatory measure, found out where the person that stood up or left the date from the person I know, where they lived via internet detectiveness, and sent them a box of, I think it was dog shit.
I legally can't encourage that, but I think that's pretty fucking awesome.
So it's happened, guys. So maybe we won't set up a P.O. box.
Let's give that story some time to percolate and work its way out of people's systems. To the point where it's indistinguishable from news stealer systems.
Do you want to give about 9 to 10 hours?
Yeah, about 9 to 10 hours, maybe 6 if you have a cup of coffee. And
maybe
maybe
we'll get them back to it right after they have breakfast tomorrow. maybe right after their first cigarette. Oh man, I used to smoke cigarettes, man, and I got to tell you that I used to smoke cigarettes and have a 45-minute drive to work.
Oh God!
I'll tell you, some days, man, it was a close fucking call. Okay, on that
fiber's an important part of your diet, folks.
On that brown note, we're gonna get out of here.
Lord.
Damn full. He's Campbell, Crimbus, fucking whatever. We're the 40k Badcast, and we'll smell you later.
Stay regular.